was, but now if it's like you are 1,000 for, you know, a vaginal,
birth,
yeah. So, um, it it went really well. I feel like it couldn't have gone better if I had planned it. My kids got to be a part of it. They got to see, and I feel like it somewhat traumatized them, hopefully enough to realize like this is a real thing. So don't get pregnant before you're ready for this. But it also, I feel like, made it like a welcoming, like, this is my sister. I saw the whole birth. My son was the photographer. And then, funnily enough, you know, when you're getting up and going to the bathroom afterward, they gave me this ice pack. And he is, first of all, dumbfounded. He was like, an ice pack? He was like, the nurse gives you an ice pack at school for like a headache. He's like, you just had a whole baby and you just get an ice pack? And I was like, yes, sir.
This is maternity care in the United States of America.
This is what women get. Yep.
And you get this. They're there when you get your IUD placed. As we shove it through your cervix, they're there.
Oh, if you need a second, you can stay here for a couple
for
minutes.
a minute. Mm-hmm. Not that many though, because someone else has the next slot.
We have the next patient coming in. And so with her, still it was COVID. She was born in May, so I thought I was gonna have this beautiful summer with my kids to go out and do stuff. My beautiful maternity leave, which was all overshadowed by COVID. We turned it basically into like a little isolated bubble. Couldn't go anywhere. I was terrified to take my baby anywhere. Terrified of, you know, anything coming home to her. Very, you know, in our bubble. We ended up hiring a nanny because I was not able to do schoolwork and do the 3 kids at the same time. So everything was just very in our home. And we pretty much lived that way for, you know, the first several months of her life. And now looking back, it did really affect her because she was very shy. Like anytime people would be around her, she'd be like, what's going on? Anybody with a mask, if they took their mask down, she was losing it. Like, put that fucking mask back up. Ma'am,
I'm only supposed to see your eyes.
Right. She was so used to that, and she was born right into that, you know, pandemic. So my little pandemic baby, number 1, because she was not the last one. Unfortunately, I did not plan the last one, but, you know, it just happened to be that way. And she now is so funny to me. She's always telling me I'm her superhero for the littlest things. Like if I put her socks on, Mom, you're my superhero. Like, oh, thank you. I put that sock on like a pro.
Tell me I was her superhero.
Oh yeah, no, I'm her superhero. Anything. I give her a piece of toast, I'm her superhero. So, and she's still to this day very much like, I hate to say it, like a TV kid. Like she wants to be by herself and left alone. She wants you to get her right and get out the way and leave me be. Let me alone. And she is 3 years old now, and she's an amazing big sister. But definitely my little chocolate drop, and I'm still in awe. Like I'm always so proud of myself. Like
I made that.
Yeah, I did not know I had it in me. Like, and then I joked because then Kingston came out even paler than I am, so I was like, I used up all the last of my melanin on that baby because I thought that would be the last one. But yeah, it was another unmedicated birth, no IV, anything like that. I did have a hemorrhage and some calcifications in my placenta, which kind of made me wonder if, you know, the COVID had gotten to me at some point in time. Who knows? But yeah, that was the birth story of Indigo.
So now whenever you had the hemorrhage, I'm assuming they put an IV in
no,
at that point?
No, they did not. Nothing. They did nothing. And I don't even want to tell you who the midwife was.
Okay.
I don't think she realized the hemorrhage was as significant as it was until, you know, later, because it was one of those ones where it was like, you know, the big gush with the placenta, but then I wasn't actively like oozing or anything like that. And then when she went to lift up the bag, she was like, oh wow, like that was a good amount, you know, back there. And I had a retained placenta. Well, almost. I was at minute 29 before my placenta, you know, came out. I do wish that they would have allowed me to not clamp the cord. I kept on asking for delayed cord clamping, and they kept on saying it's 30 seconds, it's a minute, the cord is white, and I was just like, just let it be, just leave it alone. But I was just, you know, like, you're not wanting to argue at that point in time. So that was the only thing I wished might have went different. But other than that, it was like, you know, you get your 24 hours postpartum, which at that point I was like, great, you know, quick, easy. You're not having to stay here for days at a time. Get my 24 hours and then come back home, away from all the COVID.
Exactly.
Get your, you know, newborn back in there. So yeah, I think that was the only thing I wish I would have done different. It's actually due delayed cord clamping. I declined the erythromycin because I trusted myself and trusted my partner and had got tested, just as recommendations were. And then I delayed her hepatitis shots. So the only thing she got when she was first born was vitamin K. And of course, everybody's rolling their eyes at me or whatever.
I don't care.
Yeah, like I didn't need it. I didn't want it. And then she ended up having jaundice, was pretty high jaundice because I'm O blood type, her dad is B, and sometimes you have incompatibilities between the blood types. It wasn't a positive negative type thing, but still between the A's and the B's and the A's and the O's and the B's and the O's, you do have those incompatibilities. So she had to be poked a lot and
I
stuff.
think I had
But
that too. Now that I think about it, I wonder what type Larry is. I
yeah.
never bothered that.
So I was putting her up in the window and trying to get her, little, but she was so yellow under her chocolate. She was
I
so
was about to
yellow.
say,
Yeah, like how do
how
you
did you
see?
even tell?
No, I saw it.
You
That's
can
what,
figure it out.
that's why I was so concerned because I was like, dang, I know these levels and those were pretty high levels. So for them to be sending me home, I was like, should we be going home over the weekend with this? Like,
Exactly.
yeah, no, but definitely we followed up with that, and that eventually trended down. So it was all good. But yeah, that's my little indie baby. She calls herself Innie, and she is the perfect addition and a little spitfire just like her sister, and very verbal, will tell you what's what it is not, and remind you of all the things that you don't want to be reminded of all the time. So that is her.
Yeah, she was easy peasy. She
Well,
really
that's
did.
good.
She was like a
Unfortunately, with
perfect.
COVID, she's had so many different sitters now that it's like she's probably like, "Oh, are you my new sitter? All right, let's do it.
Exactly.
Are you my caretaker? All right,
Well,
let's
I
do
meant the
it."
pregnancy and everything, but
Yeah.
even
Oh
like
yeah.
when she's been at my
Yeah.
house.
Yeah. No. And
Oh
she was
God, I
my
love her.
smallest. She was 6 pounds 9 ounces. She was my smallest by a pound, actually.
Oh yeah.
Actually by 2 pounds from the biggest. So she was my little petite baby, and I always thought maybe it's because her dad was smaller, but then that proved me wrong later with her brother coming in 2 pounds bigger than her and 2 weeks earlier than her.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, that was her.
Yeah. Well, that was a beautiful birth. I did not know you walked around the hospital. I didn't get that.
I was not
memo.
getting back in that car.
I did not get that.
I was like, no one is moving with enough urgency for me right now.
But the wheels would have still went faster.
No, because then I would have to walk back to the car and get in the car. Everybody else is getting back in the car too. Like if I would have jumped in the passenger seat and skirted off without them, that probably would have been fast enough. But they weren't moving with enough haste for me.
For you, make haste.
Make haste.
Make
quickly.
Haste.
Yes. So I was there maybe 20 minutes before I had her, and I still felt like that was too long. I was like, I've been here. What's going on? Why am I still here?
I've
been here for 20 minutes.
Leave. I love that you tried to.
Yeah.
I wish I would have been at work that night. I would have looked at you if you don't sit your ass.
Yeah, that's what they all did. They all looked at me. Yeah.
Have a seat.
Yeah, they literally pushed me back down there, and
I've been sitting there like, have a seat, have a folding seat. Oh, well, I am very proud. I am very proud. I wanted to really do all of my little humana. I just had my whole Erykah Badu stuff all ready.
She was ready.
Honey, I had a whole rolling
and I was readier.
And when you texted, this is ghetto, I was like, baby, I got to go. I think Keisha's ready. Crawling out of the bed. And I think my favorite part was whenever I got to your house and asked you if you wanted the hospital birth or if you wanted the home birth.
I was actually okay with probably doing the home birth because I was like, at this point, I don't see myself getting to the hospital
in time.
Yeah, and sitting down. It's just like torture to make these people sit. Yeah, when you have a baby on your pelvic bone. Yeah.
And whenever I asked you that, and P went and got his shirt on, and you were in the middle of a contraction, you're doing your little, you really gonna wear that? And you just continued on with the contraction. I was like, yeah, you may want to change the shirt. Take off the hose. And
get rid of the hose.
And change the shirt.
And then I think he put on the man behind the bump. I think he changed the shirt.
Yeah, to the man behind the bump.
Yeah.
And I remember helping to get all of the kids together. And I was like, maybe I should have offered to take the kids. And then I was like,
no, but see, and it's like, it turned out perfect. Like nobody was paying attention to that. They were there for the birth. And then my long-term sitter, it was her birthday actually that day. happened to just wake up and I sent her a text and she's like, yeah, bring them by, So it just worked out perfectly that they were there. I'm still glad that they got to experience that. And I think that's something that I'll always be able to cherish and they'll always be able to somewhat cherish. I don't know how much trauma.
I don't think any.
Well, yeah, and I think Imani remembers it totally different because she was like, "You were screaming," and I was like, "I was never screaming," and I'm like, "Was I screaming?" And everyone's like, "No, you weren't screaming. You were like, like you do
Your
that,
normal
like
guttural
that
moans.
like grunt." But
Yeah.
I was like, I was not never screaming, but like I'm one of those people who will hum like a Negro spiritual when I'm in labor, like. It helps. I feel like it helps. It releases the tension in your pelvic floor.
Well, because that humming is pushing your diaphragm down and it's vibratic.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's a word. Maybe it's
vibrational.
Not a word. Vibrational. Yeah. And it's like,
yeah.
And it's just,
it feels nice. It's like a release. You're not clenching up. And like, I often tell people, like, they're scared to make noises in labor. Like, no, like, like those nice open low tones will actually, really
help a lot.
Yes, they do.
Yeah. Well, it was an amazing birth. I definitely thought that you were going to labor more with me. I remember feeling robbed. I was like, this is shit. This is shit.
Well, I didn't even.
I showed up with a big suitcase, walked right back out with a big suitcase.
The fact that and it was 12 hours after I had sat through that labor sim. So then I ended up emailing my teachers, like, just FYI, I had my baby 12 hours after that. And they were just like, oh my God. Like, do you mind if I share this story with other people? And I was like, no, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead and tell them.
A whole bunch of people writing me and emailing me, congrats. So that was my midwifery baby. She sat, and then as much as she sat with me, when I was pregnant with her in my stomach learning, she sat right next to me on her boppy learning. She heard all my lessons, all my postpartum.
That makes sense.
Yeah, she was my
study buddy.
She was my study buddy. And then when we had to do the infant assessment on camera, she was actually my infant for my assessment. I had
that little thing over there.
Yeah, I asked could I use a real baby, and then halfway through we had to switch out for a doll because she was talking to the camera. So she was hamming it up. She so like over me. So I'm trying to talk, and I was like, hold up 1 second. So I go switch. Now I come back. Now I have a
doll.
So yeah, she was my midwifery baby. She hung out with me and learned all the things with me.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
Oh no, my thing.
Oh, it just says low battery. There we go. All right. Well, that was the perfect story to wrap us up. If you notice, she is so awesome and likes to have like normal, nice, clean pregnancies and births, and then you got on jiggling, like geriatric ass, like struggling, and this is a stool.
You should have been the one saying this is ghetto. I mean, as soon as it got a little bit too ghetto, I was like, no, this is not.
She was like, I'm not here for it, and I'm sitting there on a stool somewhere. Like, how long have you been having contractions?
We can make this work.
Trying to make this work. Trying to go to work like an idiot. Honey, throw the whole. They should have thrown my whole body away. They were like, you are obviously not meant for this. This is not meant for you to
But
do.
yet you still had, your 3 healthy babies. So.
I had my 3 healthy babies, and then I had my bonus one, so I ended up with the 5. So. Yeah. But you got your 4. Bonus
for sure. Bonus.
I can't wait to do that.
That vasectomy, baby.
Yes.
All right, you guys. Well, thanks for joining us for another birth story. Like we said, go ahead and message us or put in the comments. You can follow us on Instagram and shoot us a message over there if you want to share any of your birth stories, and we'll be able to let you guys call in and we can do an episode with you on the phone if you're far from us, or however we need to make it work.
And we may want to do one with our spouses, like with our partners version, because I would love to hear what Larry would have to say during birth if he remembers his CPAP. I wonder. We may need to do that.
No, he was resting peacefully.
He it was a great birth. It was great. He woke up and the baby was there.
I didn't have to do any work at all. Exactly. It was nice. Perfect.
And she got the epidural like I told her. So.
All right, you guys, have a great week. Be blessed.
Yes.
Be
wonderful and kind.
Yes, be kind, and you never know what people are going through.
Yes.
So just always give them the benefit of the doubt, and we will see you later. Bye.
Bye. Perfect. Oh, let me get that. Ah,
I like the labor stories don't need as much editing as a lot of the other stories that we were doing before
yeah,
for
that's
the
true.